The DX offers a substantial 56 user code locations that can be programmed for ARM-disarm codes, request-to-exit codes, radio keys, and prox cards. Code 1 is fixed as a master user keypad code. By default, this code is 123. Keypad codes can be between 3 to 6 numbers long for added flexibility. To program or change a user's keypad code from either user programming or installer programming, enter the user location number between P201 and P256. Enter the new 3 to 6 digit code followed by E, then enter in the code again a second time followed by E. For example, to set user code 2 to code 3456, press P202E 3456E. One beep will be heard. Enter it in again a second time, 3456E, and 3 beeps will now be heard to indicate a successful entry. A long beep may indicate the 2 entries did not match or the code is already in use. User codes cannot start with the number 0. Starting a code with 0 is another way to disable a code and make it inoperable. Remember that codes can be any length between 3 and 6 digits. To delete a user code, enter the user location and on an LCD keypad, press the memory button followed by E. On navigator keypads, simply press the delete code button. To default all user codes, enter location P98E. This will default all user code locations, including codes, radio keys, and access cards. Each user code has extra options to allow the users to be set up to arm and disarm areas 1 and 2, arm only with a code, request to exit to operate a door, program in a radio key code, learn access control cards for operating doors, or enable and disable the user code using AutoTimers. User code 1 is fixed as a master user code and by default can arm and disarm areas 1 and 2. It is also used to enter user programming mode. All other codes are set to arm and disarm area 1 by default. To access a user's extra code options, enter the user location number to program. On an LCD keypad, press the exclude button followed by E. On navigator keypads, press the extra options button. To close the extra options screen, on an LCD keypad, press exclude E again. On navigator keypads, press the button in the top right of the screen. Closing extra options returns to the selected user location where you can then continue to program the code, learn a radio key, or program a card. Extra code options 1 and 2 set the areas that the user can arm and disarm. If a user code has both areas 1 and 2 selected, the code will operate both areas at the same time. If both areas are in an armed state, they will both be disarmed at the same time. If a single area is armed and the other area is disarmed, both areas will be set to disarmed when the code is entered. If both areas are disarmed, then they will be armed at the same time. To operate a single area only, a dedicated area code is required. For example, to set user code 2 to arm and disarm both areas, enter P202E, enter the extra options, then ensure 1E is on and 2E is on. Extra option 3E sets the user code to only arm an area. This also applies to radio keys and access cards set for arm disarm. Radio keys will still be able to toggle the arm state of the panel using the off button. For example, to set user 2 as an arm only code, enter P202E, enter the extra options, and then activate option 3E. You also need to ensure that an area is selected. Extra option 4E allows a user code to arm the system without having to first press the arm button. This allows entry of a user code to simply toggle the arm status of an area. If no areas are set for the user code, the code can be used as a request to exit code for operating an output. For example, to allow user code 2 to arm area 1 with a code only, select P202E. Go into the extra options, ensure that the area 1 is selected with 1E and that 4E is selected on. Optionally, To select user code 2 as a request to exit code so it doesn't arm or disarm an area, select P202E, enter the extra options, and ensure that the area 1E and 2E are off and 4E is on. Extra option 5E sets a user code location as a radio key code. This allows a Ness radio key to be learned into the user location. An area must also be set for the radio key to arm and disarm the system. For example, setting user 2 to arm and disarm area 1 from a radio key. Enter P202E, the extra options, then select 1E on and 5E on. Exit the extra options screen to return to the user location to learn the radio key. User code locations set as radio key codes will display a radio key icon on navigator keypads or a wireless symbol on LCD keypads. Extra code options 6E through 8E sets the user location as a prox card for the selected card reader. Multiple readers can be selected for a user. If areas are also selected, the card will arm and disarm the selected area. For example, to select user code 2 to arm and disarm area 1 from all readers, select P202E, go into the extra options, ensure that 1E is on, and that 6, 7, 8E are all on. To set up user code 2 to operate a door only from reader number 1, enter P202E, extra options, ensure 1E is off and 6E is on. Extra option 9E sets a user code to be enabled and disabled by the use of AutoTimers. This applies to keypad codes only. Timers can be set up for any time of the day and any day of the week. For example, set user 2 to be enabled and disabled by AutoTimers. Select P202E, extra options, and then select 9E on.